Hey everybody, welcome back to the studio. Today I've got a couple of paintings that are done. One that I showed you is the fairy core painting that was done I showed you that in the last video. Also you saw the progress on the mother dragon with baby dragon painting. That one is also finished. I'll give you a look at that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the edges of my canvas. I do this so that when someone buys a painting, if they want to hang it in their home, they don't have to frame it. They can frame it if they want, but the finished edges just makes it look a little bit cleaner. It's something they can purchase, stick right on their wall. Maybe later on in life they come across the perfect frame for it, toss it in there, it's even better. So this is just something I like to do. Most artists will do this. It's just a more professional look. Also, if you go to show your stuff in galleries, they want at least the edges of your canvas painted if the painting's not framed. So it's a good habit to get into. Usually I will use a black. I don't like when people take the image that's on the front of the canvas and wrap it around the sides. It's a cool look. It's just something I personally don't do with my art. I want people to focus on the front, and I don't need their eyes kind of wrapping around the side. Maybe someday in the future I might do that, but for now, black edges, simple, clean, elegant. So let me show you the dragon painting first. This one's all set. I went through and I decided to change the color of the dragon since we don't know the baby's gender yet. I wanted to get the painting done and sent to her, so I went with something in between. I went with like a mint green. Sure, it does lean more towards the blue side for a boy, but you've got some pink in the wings, a little bit of pink and purple in the temperature of in the green areas too on the face. So I did post this on Instagram. The woman who commissioned it really loved it, sent me an email saying that she was very emotional when she saw it, so I'm going to say job well done. So this and the fairy core painting both going to the same buyer. These two right here, these are for her two daughters. Both of these I'm going to paint these edges black, and then I'm going to take them outside and I'm going to spray them down with a clear glaze. That's going to make these colors pop back out again, get that depth on there, and it's going to give it a nice archival seal so that over the years the paint doesn't degrade. I'm pretty sure, let me double check. I don't have it on me right now, but I'm pretty sure that the glaze that I use has a UV protectant in it as well. Any glaze really is going to do that. It's basically just another wall between UV rays getting to the actual paint. It can't hurt, that's my point. Alright, so I'm ready to paint these edges. I've got my black acrylic paint. Got my paint palette. I'm going to squirt some of this on here. I usually don't go overboard with it. I'll fill one of these little half circles. Not quite full, but mostly full. That'll probably get me through the whole thing with these. You don't need a lot of it. Acrylic is very opaque. It dries to like almost like a plastic coating. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to use a lot of it. So, and it dries pretty quickly. By the time I get all the way around this, the first edge that I painted will probably already be dry. So I'll hold it off to a corner like this. And as I go around, I just keep grabbing an unpainted side. And by the time I get back here, this will be dry enough for me to put my hand on it. So I use a flat brush for this. This one's been beat up for a while, but just kind of a medium-sized flat brush. Grab a little bit on the edge here. You can load up both edges. I'll start in the middle. You don't want to start right at the edge, and not necessarily, it doesn't have to be the middle, but maybe about a third of the way in. And I'll just start smearing some of this on here, staying away from the edge for now, as I'm just kind of loading up that edge with some paint. And that one brush load pretty much got me almost all the way across this edge. Now once it's on there, I'll start brushing it down this way, kind of going through and making sure that I'm not seeing any canvas poking through there. And then in these corners there's usually a fold of that canvas, so I'm going to try to smash some paint into that as well. Now that that's there, now I can bring this up to my edge. You want to just kind of carefully pull it up. If you're using an old brush like this, dragging across this way can be a recipe for disaster, because you'll have these little loose bristles and it'll leave you kind of an might put some paint on the front of your canvas. So I'm just going to pull this right up onto the little rounded edge of this canvas, and then I can take my finger, lightly drag it across, and cleans up that edge a little bit. On this one side, and we'll go all the way around now. So there we have it, edges all finished and painted. I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes and we'll take it outside and we'll get some glaze on it and finish that off completely. Acrylic is a water-based paint, so don't worry if you get some on your hands, on your table, or on your clothes. It comes right off with water. Regular soap and water will take it right off. You don't want to let it dry on there for a week or two. Get it as soon as you're able to. So now we're going to take the dragon paint and we're going to finish off these edges. It's always a good idea too, when you're doing your painting, if you're using a stretched canvas like this, they have this rounded edge to it. I guess some people will call it the bead. Definitely it's good to bring your painting over onto that. It makes it much easier when you go to paint the edges to get a nice clean edge of your acrylic up against your oils. So you'll end up with a nice clean edge like that. You'll want to always be mindful of where your hands are on your painting, otherwise you end up with paint on your fingers. You're not really painting until you get paint on you. You could use oil paint to paint your edges. You're just going to have to wait for it to dry. And then sometimes when I prepare a canvas, I will paint all the way around right to the edges with my acrylic underpainting. Or if I'm painting a background of, let's say, some sky with clouds, I may take those colors and just wrap them around the edge, but nothing specific. You know, I wouldn't take the dragon's ear or horn and wrap it around or anything. There's just too much distortion, I think, that happens to that. I don't like the way it looks. Drop that brush into some water. This painting is now ready to hang on a wall, more or less, without the spray. So, in a matter of just a few minutes, you're able to take your paintings, give them a nice, finished, professional look that your clients and your customers are going to love. If you're using a spray type glaze to finish your paintings, you want to make sure they're laying flat so you don't end up with drips and runs. Build up with light coats. You don't want to try to spray it all in one coat. Spray a little bit, let that dry for a few seconds, and then spray another one on there. Make sure you get your edges as well. So lay them flat. You'll see me stand them up for a few seconds. That's because my spray can was running low and I needed to get my can more upright to finish off the rest of that glaze. But a nice finish is going to make a really good professional look to your paintings. I always try to keep that in mind when I make any piece of art, whether it's a pencil drawing or watercolor or a painting. I want that finished product to look as professional as possible, knowing that they're going to hang it in their home or office. They're going to be looking at that every day. So you want to make sure that when other people look at it, they see a nice finished product. That's going to keep them coming back for more. When their friends or family see it, they're going to say, wow, that looks really nice. Where did you get that? They're going to refer you because your work is clean and professional. Every little thing that you can do to make your customer's experience better is going to bring in new work and more work for you. So that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you picked up a few good tips on how to give your paintings a good professional finish to them. As always, if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share. That will help me out a lot. I want to try to grow this channel over the summer, and hopefully by the winter time when they lock us all down again, I'll have something more to do to keep me busy while I'm stuck inside like everyone else. Have a great one. Thanks.